22 minutes before the top of the hour. It's Monday, June 24, 2019, 49 degrees outside. And, well, one of the things we need to talk about, of course, is tires. We've got a big gravel pit, an old gravel pit, half a mile from the Yellowstone River off Chicory Road here. And gentleman wants to fill it full of tires. And, and cover them over till we can figure out what to do with them or recycle them or whatever. He has an idea on how to recycle these tires. And, but this idea came along about 10 years ago, but the Montana Department of Environmental Quality kind of put the kibosh on it because, tires and water are a great place for mosquito breeding and all sorts of bad things there can happen. And the environment on the water and the, all numbers of things that burying tires is not good for the environment, I guess. So anyway, a judge has said, hey, let's take another look at this. And a group of Valley residents worried about the environmental consequences, of course. And now 6 years later, they want to take another look at it and see if it's feasible or not. So, I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know if it's feasible or not to bury tires in a gravel pit. Maybe it is.
Well, it's such a, I don't know, what do you call it? I guess technology, right? I mean, it really is when you look at it. It's only been around like, 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not like it's not like it's some amazing, phenomenon. But the incredible thing about it is no one's ever moved in any direction in trying to adopt a different type of wheel for the car. You know what I mean? Because remember, they all started out with wood wheels, right? That's what they started out with.
Yeah, wood and metal over the wood, so they wouldn't break. Yeah.
And then they added springs to give it some, some
a little more comfort.
Gentleness.
A little more comfort.
More comfort, right?
So you think we're way behind in tire technology? Yeah. Well, we got rid of it. We got rid of inner tubes. I mean.
Yeah, I know that was pretty cool.
That was cool. Yeah,
I was happy with that.
And they got self-sealing tires and all that stuff.
That's right.
Whatever.
The self-sealing is good. Yeah. And it's created huge wealth as a addition to the car, in industry, because it's not a simple process to produce a tire, right? Especially radial tires with metal in them.
Well, you got steel belted radials will last forever.
Yeah.
Every high-speed chase you've ever seen on TV, what gives up? The tires, right? Guys driving along, sparks are flying everywhere. Come on.
And they unravel. Like that's
So you're telling me that the tires could be better?
Oh, it's just to me, I find it so. But of course, if you remember 20 years ago, we would be in the air by now.
Well, right? That's what I was gonna say. You'd be flying or anti-magnetic or something like that.
Exactly.
So
that's where we're supposed to be going. And
so
maybe that's true. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? But
I don't know. I think you can make tires out of the same stuff that you can't get a CD out of. The plastic or something like that. You gotta get a machete and a couple axes to open a CD container.
Well, it's just there's so many of them. I remember back in the 80s and early 90s, a guy came up with, I'm going to make shoes out of them. And actually an entire industry grew out of it, different types of sandals and shoes.
Out of tires, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, out of tires, for the treading on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
But then they got goofy and too expensive and people stopped buying them. It was there was no demand for them. And, I think there's other things. I think you think people could, like welcome mats. Why not make welcome mats out of them?
Well, Yeah. Welcome, Goodyear.
Yeah, exactly.
There
Keep the Goodyear logo on there.
Well,
right?
yeah. Good. Welcome, Firestone. Yeah, right. Why not?
Someone says Goodyear, and so like it's like you're promoting a good feeling before you come in your home.
That's right. Yeah, it's a good year. Welcome. I don't know.
Exactly.
Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, that's
all right.
That's dumb.
So much for the block of innovation. Okay,
right.
go.
Yeah, we can't innovate. We can't innovate any longer. But we're going to have to take another quick break, though, because, well, we want to talk about the school trustees finally made a decision. So we'll be talking about that when we come back. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's going on. And, of course, we got new apartments coming for the rich and the poor, or the old, the rich and the old. And
the infirmed.
And the infirmed. We'll be right back. 13 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Monday, June 24, 2019, 49 degrees outside. Shane Tobin on the line with me from Vancouver, British Columbia. Half man, half amazing. Tom Eagle after morning mayor in the house. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox. Hey, don't forget our poll question of the day. Do you know how to use chopsticks? That's a good one, huh? Do you, Shane? I know you probably do because you're in Canada, yes. Of course.
Me so lucky. I like chopsticks because I go to sushi.
Well,
and you should see my 4-year-old granddaughter use chopsticks. Very impressive.
Wow. Oh.
Well,
I used to eat a lot of sushi when I was in California. You know, I'd pick it up after work, take it home, fry it up. It was good. You know, it was really, really good. So bake it. You know, whatever.
Bake it
or fry it, either one, you know.
Bake it or fry it, yeah.
Yeah.
But you always cooked it, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't eat raw fish. Come on.
Of course you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
no one can.
Yes, you can.
You can't. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
It's called sashimi, and it is raw.
Well, what is the first 3 letters? Sue. If I eat it, I'll sue you because I'll be poisoned more than likely if I eat sushi. So don't even go there. Don't even go there. So I don't know.
All right. It's a matter. Well, you just when you're in Japan and you go to these sushi bars, it's very hard because they're big on the blowfish, right, which is poisonous. Yeah. And so if the sushi chef doesn't properly, cut the fish, he'll poison you. So yeah. So I wouldn't go to that extreme. That's not something I would ever do.
No, not at all. Well, from our text line, 478-8298, Montana is a low-crime state. Crime in Gallatin County has increased by about 40% in the last decade. Don't think that takes a rocket scientist to figure out why. Well, we're going to... I'm in contact with Sheriff Brian Gukin to get him in here and talk about the meth situation here in Bozeman because it is serious. And I would agree with the texter that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, we, as several other states, do have a meth epidemic here, opioid epidemic, whatever. Tim Fox, our Attorney General, is going after a lot of these folks. So, yeah. It's a serious problem.
When you have border security and ICE saying that they confiscated, 50-some million.
Some tons, a bunch of tons.
Not tons, but, fentanyl.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was, 10 tons of fentanyl, but enough to kill 51 million Americans. It's like, gosh, that's wow. That's scary. I mean, that's worse than like some flu or something getting out of control or, some terrorist attack. Not that a terrorist attack, well, hopefully, God, it wouldn't kill that many people, but to actually think that would be, could be the potential.
I know. That's pretty scary. Yeah.
It is.
Well, hey, don't forget our Apple, or our AM 1450 KMMS app on your smartphone, because there are 2 reasons you need to get the app. One is you'll never miss one of our shows because we are on all the time. All you got to do is go to our past shows on your Apple again, your KMMS app. But
keyword download. Okay.
It is available on Apple and it is available on Android both, and you can get it. And the other neat thing is you also get with it, you get the app chat. That means you go directly to us right from without missing a beat, And just the app chat button is right next to the listen button on your smartphone. So get over there and get the KMMS app and listen to us online, listen to us when we're offline. And there you go. So what could be better?
No, not to be snotty or anything, but I do have a question I've been meaning to ask you for several days. So good segue here. So what do you think the future of Twitter is? You think it'll survive? You think that because they haven't monetized it very well?
Well, they haven't. Yeah, they've had a lot of problems with people getting on. Well, it's the problem with Twitter is it's easy to follow people. It's easy to if you can get on there with something that is nefarious or whatever, a lot of people can follow you very quickly. So it's a problem.
But nobody will pay for it. I mean, they're trying to use advertising, which we talked, that.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the only way you're going to monetize it is with advertising, and Google and Facebook have kind of cornered that market because of the number of people they've got, that you're going to reach. So
don't you hate those Google ads that come up with that little tiny X that you have to hit, and then then you hit it, and then you have to answer a question why you don't like it, and then you tell them why you don't like it, and then they come back and say, oh well, we'll try and do better, and in 10 seconds you get the same ad back.
We'll try and send you a better ad.
but in 10 seconds you get a different.
I know.
I hate it.
Well. Get an ad blocker. That's what I have. See,
really?
I don't see any ads on Facebook or anything at all.
You should give people that address.
I will. All right. We'll be right back right after this. 2 minutes for the top of the hour. It is Monday, June 24, 2019, 49 degrees outside. We're going to have to carry our local stuff over to the next hour, Shane, and then we'll do the 5 things you need to know as well. But we were talking about Bob Connors is the pick, Glasgow school superintendent for the past 7 years, 34 years experience in education, been a business teacher, a principal, a superintendent, a coach for 25 years. And the board will hold a special meeting at 5:45 Monday at Wilson School to approve what's expected to be a 2-year contract. He was making a little less than $100,000. Rob Watson, the superintendent for 7 years, who he's replacing, earned over 150. So we'll see if he gets the 150 or more, or somewhere in between the 90 and the 50, or I don't know, whatever. So I guess we'll
50% increase.
Yeah. So we'll see if that is satisfactory for him.
The only problem with like having a school board deal, instead of giving you a card to go to like a coffee place, you get a card to go to the school cafeteria that you overlook.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you'd want to go eat there, but
is that one of the perks?
That's a perk.
Yeah, that's a perk. Yeah, you get free coffee in the cafeteria.
That's right. And you get that free scooter, right?
You scooter run around the halls. Because you got a lot of schools here, We got a bunch of schools here in Gallatin County.
We have to cover all the perks that the new Bozeman school, the superintendent gets, right?
Well, I guess so. So I don't know. Anyway. All right, that wraps it up for this hour. Coming up at the 7 o'clock hour, we'll finish up with the local stuff, and then we got to do the 5 things you need to know. And, we got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on around the world, and the debates are coming this week. Thank you, Dan. Welcome, everyone. It is 6 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m. It's Monday, June 24, 2019, 49 degrees outside. Shane Matobin, half man, half amazing, in Vancouver, British Columbia. He's cooler than the other side of the pillow. And Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor, is in the house. And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. And, Shane, we got 336 new apartments coming to Ferguson Farm. If you're not familiar with where Ferguson Farm is, it's out on Cottonwood off Huffine by Town Pump and the First Security Bank. And they got a big sign out there that says Ferguson Farm.
Right. And now they'll have scooter and bike routes to use, and they can walk to work and school. And everything's good.
Well, they're not low-cost housing, that's for sure.
Oh, you had to bring something up, didn't you?
Right. Well, 2 to 3 stories tall, the buildings will have 229,000 square feet of rental apartment space And amenities will include, they'll have a fitness center, a business center, coffee bar, library, game room, pool, zero entry pool. It'll just be a pool for show. There will be a large spa, including fountains, a cabana area with grills, and a large pizza oven, and a fire pit and hammocks. They will be the only game in town with a hammock, I'm pretty sure.
And by the way, just so everybody knows, and none of those things will be used.
Well, they may not, but they're there anyway, and you're going to pay for them.
Yeah.
You don't think they're going to walk around and look at the fountains and not going to use the grills out there? You don't think so?
No. I mean, you can walk around in Vancouver, and in the last 30 years, the number of high rises they've built, particularly condos and apartments, and all of them have balconies. And you can walk around any day of the summer, and there's no one out on them.
Nobody. Well, they're working.
I'm talking about after work in the evening.
Oh, right? In the evening.
Well. And they have east side exposure for sunset or sunrise, and west side exposure for sunset.
Yeah.
Obviously, the designers built them that way.
Okay.
And nobody, they don't even have stuff on their balcony.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I know. People don't use it.
All right. Let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Call you on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
And I'm glad to be here, Tom.
Hey, Pete, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
You are an amenity all by yourself.
I am. Have you guys, or did you hear when it was in a couple blips in the news about the hammer and a fellow by the name of Dennis Montgomery?
No,
don't think so. Did Dennis hit somebody with a hammer?
No, that ain't how it works.
Okay.
But I tried to find out about this when it broke a long time ago.
What's his name?
Dennis Montgomery. He was an inventor, software designer, and a contractor for the CIA, DOD, DHS, NSA, and the FBI.
Wow.
He turned whistleblower in 2015. This guy, he had access to all the information, the NSA data, and he started seeing things he didn't like. He was a little alarmed that they had turned this super surveillance system called the Hammer, which he had created.
Oh, right. That was a computer program he sold of them all that he said would decode Al Qaeda and messages hidden in Al Jazeera's broadcasting, right?
The Hammer surveillance system.
Yeah,
right.
There you go.
But he didn't. It wasn't. I don't think it was decoding. I think what they were doing was they were just gathering information and using it as a way to bribe or blackmail people and get leverage. But this guy, in the original there was a six-part series done by two investigative journalists, Alan Jones and Mary Fanning, I believe, did the investigation. I've been trying to get that back up, and I can't get it anywhere, not their page. But he took 47 hard drives with 600 million pages of info to the FBI in Miami because they just buried it. But at that time, he testified under oath and on video that there was illegal spying going on by government officials, Supreme Court judges, Robertson, Scalia, federal court judges, Article 3 court judges, FISA court judges, high-ranking members of the military, and private American citizens, one of whom, he said, who had been under surveillance for years, was Donald J. Trump. So they knew, going back to the dossier, they knew everything about Trump from the get-go. From day one, they knew everything. And, of course, Comey buried it. But this system was run out of, according to the people that dug into this, by Brennan and Clapper. Clapper wanted the dossier used right away. Remember him? Mm-hmm. They covertly operated the system out of a government facility in a suburb of D.C., I think Fort Washington, Maryland, somewhere in that area.
Well, the important thing you're bringing up is it would have required presidential approval to weaponize it.
Oh, yeah, they all denied it, Shane.
Yeah. Well, of course they denied it, but we all know that's the case. I mean, it's just...
Well, the guys that denied it were Clapper, Brennan, Comey, and Obama. They all denied it, and they all did it on TV and before different committees of the government. Right?
They all denied they didn't do what they did. We all know that. Of course you're going to deny it. You're not going to admit to it.
Well,
you're not going to self-incriminate yourself.
Well, it didn't do them any good because they did get caught, you know. And of course, Montgomery, Mueller's leadership, when he was in the FBI, supplied the computers for this surveillance system. Okay, then the Vault 7 documents come out after they had for years denied. Vault 7 comes out, and there in the documents is one of the programs in the list is the Hammer. Okay, so then on March 19, 2017, U.S. Air Force General Thomas McInerney retired, and U.S. Navy Admiral James A. Ace Lyons, retired and now deceased, went on a terrestrial radio station called Operation Freedom and laid it out. In hours, Strzok and Page, I think it was within minutes, were texting back and forth about that radio show. The next morning, Director James Comey announced before the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence that the FBI Counterintelligence Division was investigating Trump's connection to the Kremlin. So it seems that the dossier was the cover-up for this program. Actually, it wasn't the cover-up. It was their excuse for all the stuff they did, this stuff.
Well, no, yeah, but here's the big thing. Here's the big thing. This is the big thing right now that matters right now today. All these people thought Hillary would get elected president. And whether she ran for a second term or not, the fact is before the election, you know, Biden got $1.5 billion from China, you know, and what's incredible is finally in the last 2 weeks, they've been asking him about it. So, you know, there may be no justice in the system to prosecute these people, but at least enough information's come out that people that have been involved in these kind of scams in the last 20 years, you know, since 2000, are but now being finally questioned by the liberal media. So that's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool last week.
Well, I don't know how many real pertinent questions the liberal media is going to be asking these guys.
They went after him on Wednesday, Thursday. Everybody, the whole scrum, they were asking about what's your position on the $1.5 billion for your son, and how did that come about? Where's the money? And no.
Wow, the thing is, Shane, that's small potatoes compared to what these guys were doing. You know, but Biden was just being a crook. These guys were way worse. These guys were traitors.
Yeah. Well, the other interesting thing, Montgomery asserts that Obama, Brennan, Clapper used the hammer in a diabolically intrusive manner in order to spy on the American people and collect massive amounts of surveillance data and leverage, but multiple echelons of government, including the FISA court, had to sign off on each and every foreign surveillance operation conducted with the use of the hammer. And Montgomery claims that Brennan Clapper used the super surveillance system Montgomery designed to spy on Article 3 federal judges, including the one-time head of the FISA court, Reggie Walton, Supreme Court Justice Anton Scalia, and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court John Roberts.
Right. And remember when John Roberts flipped on Obamacare?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a good, not a good thing.
The best part of this story I like is E-Trepid, his company, got $30 million no-bid contract. So good on him. Like, great. That's a way to rock, man. Piece of software, you know, it can cost you, once you create it, you get $30 million for it, you know, just to upgrade 2.0, 3.0. Wow.
Well, another thing, Montgomery's revelations about his super surveillance system, the Hammer, called into question Chief Justice Roberts' strange and inexplicable 2012 decision that stood in direct opposition to his own stated legal argument at the 11th hour, Roberts flipped and supported the individual mandate for President Obama's highly unpopular Affordable Care Act.
Right. And these guys, that's their MOS. That's what these guys do. But this program was designed by Montgomery to only be used on other countries, not to be used in this country, which is exactly what Clapper, Brennan, and those guys did. Right now, I don't know, I looked for a while last night to see what was still up, and the only place I found anything, and it was pretty much what other people had said, but they had it all laid out, was a site called Whiskey Tango, Texas. And I just slammed the hammer into that, and it actually came up. But I'd love to get my hands on the original articles that were written by Alan Jones and Mary Fanning, because they put it all together, all of it, in 6 different parts. And then, of course, their site was attacked and pretty much wiped out.
Go to thiswestisourwest.com.
This West is our West.
Yeah, it's got the American Report by Mary Fanning and Alan Jones, May 22nd, 2019.
They have the whole thing, all 6 parts?
Well, they've got a bunch of stuff here. It's a long, involved article. So
has it got links in it?
Yeah, there's Comey.
Hey, Clint,
click the link and see if it comes up.
Clint, first you should thank the Morning Mary. He's the exceptional
Operation Freedom and stuff like that. And, audio tapes, they got a link to that. Radio interview with Larry Klayman. They got links all over it. FBI file, Paul Kruger, New York Magazine.
What happens when you click on the links? Because a lot of them on this site, the links are no longer up.
Well,
you just get that. It's not even 404 error. It's forget what it is they tell you. An unsecure website.
Well, I don't know. I would suggest you check over there, and I just did a search for Montgomery, the Hammer NASA. And
did you know that there was a Montana connection to this story?
Just us, Shane and I.
No, actually, Dennis Montgomery's business partner was Tim Blixeth's wife.
Yes, that's a whole nother side of the story, and how they went international with it, and got the help of a very famous guy named Jack Kemp.
Ooh,
He helped them form Offspring LLC, later renamed Bixware, and that was pursued for international use of the software, and they sold the rights to the Australian government or Israeli government, and But then, unfortunately, Edra and Tim Blixeth divorced in 2008, and Bixware became part of Edra's Blixeth's sole property. So she filed for personal bankruptcy in 2009, which resulted in Chapter 7 liquidation of her assets, including Bixware and its associated software and intellectual property, but the bankruptcy court refuses to announce who bought it. I love that.
Yeah, the courts are great in this country.
Yeah, I know. Protecting people's levels. Privacy. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, according to one of the articles, they had goods on 159 different judges. And I'm there, God, how many do we have?
There's 649 federal judge positions in your country.
Yeah, but they went through Article 3, Supreme Court. I mean, they weren't just content with district court judges, They went after everybody.
Pete, I got to go here. We had a break about 4 minutes ago, so I'm going to run out of time here if I don't take a break. So
check that out, folks. I think you'll find it interesting. Have a good one.
All right, thanks for the info. All right, we'll be right back with more right after this. 25 minutes after the hour of 7 a.m., we've got a caller waiting on the line, so let's go to the phones. 522-TALK is the number, 522-8255. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tom. Shane, I've already spoken with you. It's Chris Griffin.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, I was just wondering if you're going to talk about Susan Rice's piece, an opinion piece in the New York Times this morning about Trump and Iran.
Hadn't planned on it.
Oh yeah, how did Susan Rice?
Tom, that's why he's calling, Tom.
And why would I want to comment on anything in the New York Times anyway?
Well, as I explained to Shane, Susan Rice was a member of the Obama National Security Team, and as part of the team, she was one of the most conservative members. And because of her conservative perspective, I thought you may have read that in the New York Times. And she has some very interesting ideas as to how Trump can maintain staying out of a war with Iran. But if you haven't read it, it's not worth discussing because I guess you're very close-minded to ideas like that, Tom.
Not at all. I'm close to the fact that I don't want to subscribe to the New York Times, and every time I go over there, I have to subscribe to read an article there. So that's
you get 10 free articles a month before they even start charging you, Tom. Come on.
Do you know what date? Do you know what date today is?
Yeah, today's what, the 23rd?
Yeah, I've used my 10.
Yeah, we've already used our 10. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, we'll continue to talk about conspiratorial things of the recent past rather than things that are happening today from people that actually know what they're talking about. Have a great day, guys.
Hey, no problem. I'll be happy to run the show myself without outside help. Thank you very much. All right, we're getting down to the bottom of the hour here. From our text line, 478-8298, I would suggest making tires out of environmentalist hide, but my experience, they're all too thin-skinned. And that's a signed text. And let's see, also from our text line, Tom equal Google. All right? I guess, I don't know. I'm not sure what that means, but...
I don't either, yeah.
Anyway. So, yeah. Well, let's see. We were talking about local stuff.
That's right.
And we were talking about the developer plans to build affordable apartments for the elderly. So these won't have hammocks. They won't have fire pits, and they won't have ponds and anything else. They're going to be, they're going to be plywood countertops and whatever. So. But anyway, they're talking about Summit House.
But they will have wide walkways for walkers.
Yeah. Summit Housing Group, based in Missoula, hopes to build the apartments on North 27th Avenue between Turbulence and Shockey Lane, called Timber Ridge Apartments. It would consist of 20 one-bedroom apartments and 10 two-bedroom apartments. And the project is still in its early stage. Maybe Jeff Krause will be able to tell us more about that tomorrow morning. So we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And we should. We got to keep people informed, Mayor.
There you go. All right. We got a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Carly, you got about 30 seconds.
Hey, Tom and Shane, this is Jerry.
Yeah.
With that last statement, you can see why Chris Griffin is no longer employed at that radio station. So keep up the good work, guys. Hope I got that in 30 seconds.
You did. You got it in. Hey, thanks a lot for the call.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Take care. All right.
Bye.
All right, we got to together, pay a couple bills, and do all of that stuff. But, hey, we've still got a full morning to go, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hey, don't forget our poll of the day. Do you know how to use chopsticks? And our app chat and our AM 1450 KMMS app. Get signed up for that. You can take us with you everywhere you go all the time, and we'll see y'all later right after this. 23 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, June 24, 2019, 53 degrees outside. Good morning, everyone. Tommy Goloff, your morning mayor in the house. Shane and Tom and Half Man, Half Amazing is in Vancouver, and this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane from our text line 478-8298. Today is the 24th, okay? So we established that, I think, but that's okay. Let's see. We have a signed text. Tell little Chrissy to take his media and get a life. Or take his meds and get a life. I'm sorry. Take his meds and get a life. From our text line, move on, you disgruntled ex-employee. Okay, so there you are. That's our text line for the morning.
Well, I think the issue is that he calls up and brings up this gal Rice that was in the Obama administration. She's been proven a liar with Benghazi and several things that she did. And she, I think she's the one in his inner circle that convinced him to weaponize all these departments. I really do.
And she's an opinion columnist for the New York Times. So please don't.
So that's, it's just, that's what it is. And, to think that she's
the fact that she has a comment on Trump and Iran is merely speculation. Trump's going to do what he's going to do with or without her. So it's a moot point.
Especially without it. So 401k update, because it's Monday and we got serious markers here, buddy. I mean, I'm getting some serious concerns. Yes, the Dow's doing well, up 57 points, 26,774. The Standard & Poor's up to day one at 2,951. You're heading to that 3,000 mark, sort of important.
Yep.
But the Dow's up 10.5%, and the Standard & Poor's now back up 8.7, and NASDAQ 100 up 10% at 774. Europe is reasonable, and around the board, to the other 100 exchanges around the world, there seems to be a lot of happiness over the great letter that Trump sent the little rocket man. But I'm not so happy about this, Tom. I'm looking at commodities here, and Brent is 65 and 57, for U.S. oil.
Right.
Natural gas 277. I mean, oil's down almost 16%. Natural gas is 22.5. Gasoline in your country is down 8.7. All these things are good, but then you look at gold.
Yeah.
And, it just blasted to 1,400, right, in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been 12 ever since we've been on the air, I think.
Yeah, and in the last 2 weeks, it's blasted. It's gone up $2,000.
Yeah.
Or 1,000, excuse me. And silver's at 1536, and if you remember, 4 years ago it got to 1575. And this run with commodities like soybeans at 907 up to 275, over $900. Wow, that's just amazing. Wheat 535 up 8. Now, of course, this is a consequence of what's happening with that flooding, right?
Yeah.
All the flooding in the Midwest.
Yeah, because the price of everything that is in existence that did grow is going to be worth more. Because because of the shortage, the shortage of everything,
Live cattle's at 106, lean hog 75 plus, and poultry 469. Poultry is really meaning because it's a major protein source for North American people, because people can't afford beef and hogs. I mean, a guy like me, I go to the market and see what they cost. I mean, you go in to buy a T-bone steak at $24. Like, I don't know about you, but it's still expensive. All right. The other thing we need to briefly talk about, again, the 10-year note for the U.S. Debt is down again, not a full debt, but 2.03. 30-year is down again to 2.55. Now, that's a positive marker, because that means money's flowing in and they're buying U.S. debt. But the other thing that's interesting is that the euro, it's bounced back almost 2 full points to almost 114 from 111, and the pound, of course, has dropped off a basis point to 127. But the other thing that's so fascinating is the other state of like Australia, New Zealand, Canada, even Mexico. There's been no profound shift, which I'm absolutely surprised by, because the Fed didn't drop interest rates. So I look at this as it's not a gamble about inflation. And it's not a gamble, because these are the reasons that they look at this stuff, right? And it's not about wanting to interfere with the market. I just get this. I'm getting this feeling from these markers of the storm scenario, right?
Yeah.
The great storm scenario that's forming.
The perfect storm, yeah.
Yeah, perfect storm. So something out of anyone's control trips it, like something in China or North Korea. It's not good.
Well, look at Bitcoin, 10,835.40 this morning.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, that's right.
What's up with that?
Yeah, right. Because what 4 weeks ago it was 7,000, right? It was 7,000.
No, it was down to 6. It was down to 6 something, I think, and that was an increase. I think it's 6.
And we always talk about money being chicken, so it's running to debt, particularly U.S. debt and gold and commodities, which it's not as bad that it's running to commodities, but commodities you want to see going up in price because they're being used, not for a place for money to hide. And obviously Bitcoin, the same thing. People are driving to so I don't know. There's something not right. It's an early stage concern. I'm just telling you that we need to watch it. So we will.
Yeah. In fact, if you go to coinmarketcap.com, you'll see that none of the other coins are anywhere near what Bitcoin is. The closest is Ethereum at 308. And everything else is in the $100 or less. Well, Bitcoin Cash is 469, but they're.
But they promoted Ethereum as all the big money, the billionaires.
Well, yeah, that's true. Okay,
I don't think so.
All right, from our text line, then we got to take a break. 478-8298. Who wants to read the New York Times or watch CNN alternative viewpoints? Suck. They might hurt my they might hurt my backside. Instead, I'll just call them fake news. Chris is always rude to anyone who doesn't agree with his lordship. How about Bitcoin? We just mentioned Bitcoin. And Susan Rice, the most conservative member of the Obama team, is like seeking out the least poisonous snake in the pit.
Ooh,
that's a good one. There you go. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. It's 12 minutes before the top of the hour. It is, what is it? It's Monday. It's Monday, June 24th, 2019. It's morning. Wow. Oh, well. Let's see. From our text line, 478-8298, I don't always agree with Griffin, but it's interesting to hear other viewpoints, and all views are welcome here. So, I didn't not say he couldn't do it. I'll just pick what we talk about. That's all. So all views are welcome from the other side of the phone line. So Chris made his point. His view was welcome. Nobody cut him off or got rid of him or chastised him. So that's fine. All right. Let's see. Get back to 5 things we need to know.
Yeah.
Let's get back to that, shall we? Let's see. Well, they've obtained nearly 100 leaked internal Trump transition vetting documents that identified red flags about numerous officials who went on to be named to top jobs in President Trump's administration. The document spotlighted the slapdash way President Trump filled his cabinet and administration. The leaked material included warnings about several officials who have since been pushed out of the administration, and a section of the vetting of Scott Pruitt, who lost his job as EPA administrator over ethical abuses and questionable ties to lobbyists, was titled Allegations of Coziness with Big Energy Companies. And Chris Kobach, who served as head of Trump's now defunct Voter Fraud Commission, was flagged for criticism of alleged ties to white supremacist groups. So there you go. What can I tell you?
You know what? It's just fake news. They all sat down over the weekend, and they sat there and said, "Oh, let's put a list together on the wall of all the people that have left Trump's administration." Okay, now let's talk about why did they do this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are they all gone?
Yeah.
And, let's write a story about why they're all gone, but we got to have a hook on it.
Well, yeah. So
what would be a good hook? Oh, that there may be documents out there that say that he was warned about all these.
Yeah. Well, weren't they all approved by the Senate?
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, I believe they all sat in front of the Senate, and so hey, what can I tell you?
Exactly.
Let's see. From our text line, 478-8298, there wasn't a conservative bone in any aspect of the Obama regime. So, yeah, we'll take that one.
Well, but weren't we just told Susan Rice was a conservative person?
Well, I guess she must have been. I don't know.
Hey, we got the clink. We got the clink on the phone.
We do? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well, we better go there then, because we got time.
Okay.
Calling you on the air. What's up?
This is Colonel Clink. Shane's right.
Yeah.
I got to ask
my man. How are you this morning, good sir?
Well, I'm pretty good, Shane. How's yourself?
I'm still alive. I woke up this morning and I took my meds, and I'm actually performing well, I think.
I think so. I think you're doing fine, you and Tom.
I mean, for a trained monkey, I'm pretty good, don't you think?
He is. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I got to ask you two smart fellas a question.
Go for it.
Did either one of you watch 60 Minutes last night?
I don't watch that Pinky Commo program.
Go ahead, Clint.
Well, I turned it on, and there's this woman attorney, and she's trying to get the global warming question in court in a trial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wondered if you'd heard about it, and what she said was going to happen and be basically all the coal-fired power plants would be shut down, the forests would be remanaged in some way, and she's got all these children as testimony ready for the court if she ever gets there. And I was just wondering if you or the callers out there, anybody had really watched it. I just got on the tail end of it, so I don't really know all of it, but I just thought I'd call and ask them.
Yeah, well, the big issue she's having is standing.
Yeah.
You know, like, on what basis are you making this claim?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to make such a huge claim and then show damage or show, I mean, because there's just... The science is too confusing.
Yeah, well, she went to the Democratic side of our Congress, and she's went to the Republican side of it.
Yeah.
None of them really agree with her, but she's hoping she's going to get it in the Supreme Court of the United States. And so I was just wondering if anybody out there, I'm not well versed on it, maybe Aaron down there, he seems to be pretty smart about things in Three Forks. Maybe he knows.
Well, first of all, she'd have to go to federal court at the first level, right? And then it's 7 years to the Supreme Court if she can get.
Well, I think she's been through a lot of them courts, and I'm just wondering if I just got in on the tail end of it. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so maybe somebody out there else will really know the rest of it. So that's all I got to say this morning.
Okay.
All right.
Except you guys are doing a good job.
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
that's very nice.
I think. One question: do you fly back and forth from Kamloops to Vancouver?
No.
You drive?
Drive or take the bus. Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's a beautiful drive up there for you.
Yeah, that's why I do it. It's remarkable.
You go up through the Okanagan Valley? Is that the way you go?
Well, this last weekend I drove down because yesterday was my oldest daughter's birthday, so we were celebrating it here. But we drove down last week and we came over the pass, and it was snowing. Major snow.
Well, tell me something. How much is fuel there now? How much does a gallon of gas or a liter cost now?
Well, if you go to the city, it's anywhere from $1.55 to $1.75, which puts it about $8 US a gallon.
Okay, that's plenty high. Okay.
Yeah, but about $3 to $3.50 of that is tax.
Yeah, healthcare, huh?
Okay. Yeah, no.
What does that tax go for?
Carbon credits and building curbs and bicycle paths and good things like that.
Right.
Okay, Shane. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the call. We got to take a break. We got a caller waiting on the phone for you, Shane, so you can interrogate them, and I'll be right back. All right, we are out of time for this segment, so we'll be back right after the news at the bottom of the hour, top of the hour, I guess I should say. It is the top of the hour, and it's 8 o'clock. Holy smokes. How'd it go so fast? All right. Well, when we come back, we'll continue on with the 5 things you need to know and your text messages, your phone calls, and everything else. So, hey, it's a happy Monday. We're here. You're here. Let's have some fun. So we'll be back with more right after the news at the top of the hour. Thank you, Dan. Welcome back, everyone. It's 6 minutes after the top of the hour. Monday, June 24, 2019, 57 degrees outside. We're looking for a half of what are we looking for? We're looking for a high of about 66 degrees, something like that. I don't know.
Well, every time you stick that candle outside, you raise the temperature.
Well, apparently so. So let's take a phone call. Had a caller patiently waiting. Shane's been waterboarding while we were away. So, caller, you are on the air. What's going on?
Okay. As far as the global warming question, the modern minimum 6,000 years of ice core samples from the Greenland ice cores, 2 miles thick of ice, reflects that we're heading into a cold spell, and it's undeniable. I mean, it's just the way the Earth operates. We're going to head into this mini ice age cold spell that's going to affect the commodity market, and that's just the way it is. It's no big deal. The best thing that could happen would be some sort of volcano that would throw some CO2 into the atmosphere and form that. Why do you think those planes go over every day? And don't deny it, folks. Your lying eyes. Don't deny your lying eyes. Those planes are going over and trying to create a cloud cover so that they can inflict this global tax called climate change, which is nothing but a foreign aid policy. That's what it is. It's a foreign aid policy. We were Shane and I were talking about demographics, and the rich hemispheres like China and the U.S. are losing population, but Nigeria is expected to be 500 million by 2050, and then the most populated country in the world will be India. There's going to be a shift in population to the southern hemisphere, no doubt about it. Affluence causes people to not breed, and that's what's happening in the first world. That's it.
Okay.
That's my rant.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call.
Tom, you kicked ass on. I think you gave Chris a fair hearing of his liberal views.
Well, all right. Thank you. All right. I don't know if I believe ice core samples, Shane. Wouldn't ice be president? Wouldn't it be a prejudice to cooler temperatures? I don't know if I trust ice to.
Well, no, it's just it's a natural record, right?
I'm kidding.
I know you are.
I don't care.
You like to grind me. I know that.
Yeah. Well, as we pointed out many times, it's theory, not science.
That's right. Exactly. And that's the primary factor that people have to keep in accordance to what they're being told.
Yeah.
Is what you're hearing theory or is it science? And it's all theory.
Well, I don't know. I think if people start bursting into flame at the equator, we'll have time to do something here in Montana before,
Well, yeah. But I'd rather be an optimist and think that we will rally forward and carry on, not be gone in 12 years. I'm just
to Vinny's point, they have taken down the gone in 2020 signs around the glaciers up in various parks here that we've got in Alaska and the U.S. So maybe he's
that was predicted 20 years ago. Remember, and the oceans would be 10 feet higher.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Supposedly 7 islands have disappeared, Shane. I don't know.
They're called atolls. They're not called islands. They're called atolls.
Oh. That's not one of the 7 words we can't say, is it? Or 8 words?
No, it's like the 7 dwarfs, and you know how short they were.
Yeah, okay. Well, back to the real world. Before leaving for Saudi Arabia on Sunday, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told reporters he is trying to create a global coalition against Iran. He's also going to visit the United Arab Emirates, and he will be discussing how to make sure we are all strategically aligned, not throughout the Gulf states, but in Asia and Europe, that understands this challenge as it is prepared to push back against the world's largest state sponsor of terror.
Well, and we've talked about this a lot. So, since the Vietnam War, the U.S. transitioned to a mercenary army where they paid people a living wage to be a volunteer in your military.
Yeah.
And it went into full force because of other events, which was Kuwait to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. And then it sort of grown from there. And so, it's regrettable that Eisenhower was right about the military-industrial complex, but twofold, 9/11 and the 2008 financial crisis resulted in, the only thing to save your economy and the market was a war. I mean, that's really, there was nothing else because the situation was so extreme. So thank God your President Trump doesn't want to go there again. So that's the important. He wants to build a normal, regular economy, with jobs.
Right, yeah. From our text line, 478-8298, they're really going to freak to realize that God hung the earth upon nothing. What holds the earth up anyway? Is there a string or something up there, Shane? I don't know. It must be.
It's a string. Yeah, it's a fishing line.
Okay, yeah. The Trump regime is full of liberalism, tariffs, more spending, more debt, more Kushners. I don't think Trump has any Kushners in the How that guy got a Nobel Peace Prize for economics is I don't know, man. That really lowered the bar for that particular award. He and Obama getting it after Obama's been in the office about 10 minutes.
Well, it's just a love affair, right?
Well, that's what they tell me anyway. So I don't know, but that's pretty silly.
Well, he didn't believe it either.
I'm sure he didn't.
No,
what?
He didn't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now it puts me on a level with Al Gore.
Exactly. What did you say, Michelle? I'm what? You're president.
Yeah.
No. Someone hit me. It's a dream.
You got to be kidding me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Senator Bernie Sanders will propose Monday eliminating all $1.6 trillion of U.S. debt and making all public universities, community colleges, and trade schools tuition-free. His plan is broader and more expensive than those offered by 2020 Democrat presidential candidate Senator Elizabeth Warren and Julian Castro. Sanders said he will pay for it with a tax on stock transactions and bonds, whereas competing plans would help only lower-income Americans. Sanders proposes to cancel all student debt, including for private colleges and graduate schools. Critics say the proposal would primarily help educated Americans who typically earn more. And what I think will happen is that if you have free college, you're going to have a whole mess of people sitting in college that don't belong there.
Well, look, three things here. Number one, these are all the people that have beaten your president up for the last 2 years about his spending and the debt.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, he's added less debt than any president in his first 2 years in 30 years since Reagan. And number three, you can't cancel the debt because the U.S. government holds the debt. So he's saying is he's misleading everybody by saying that. And the only thing he could do is have the U.S. government assume the debt. So you'd go from $22 trillion, 400. Are you ready for this, folks? To $24 trillion overnight with Bernie and the boys. Okay, It's a clown show. It's a clown car. They open the little Volkswagen and 22 guys get out. I mean, and women. It's like this is it. I can't believe they really think they can buy this election. Maybe, I don't know. Do you think they can? You think people are going to do that?
No.
I don't either.
I don't think they will. No. Well, there's no way Congress is going to pass it anyway. I mean, he can introduce it all day long.
Yeah.
But,
Well, he can't. He's a senator, but he can sponsor it with a congressman.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Where was our time here? We're okay. From our text line, Michelle is president and AOC is vice president. Obama is promoting AOC via Netflix. Well,
Yeah,
I don't think she can serve till she's of age. She could identify as 35, I guess. I think both the president and the vice president have to be 35, don't they?
Or they could elect her Speaker of the House and she'd be third in line.
Well, there you are. Yeah. That'll work. Well, maybe you should do that. We'll just kick Nancy out, make OAC Speaker of the House.
Yeah, no. So Warren gets elected with Bernie, and they both resign, and AOC becomes president.
Well, what do you do though if the third person in line that becomes president doesn't qualify by the age thing? What do you do then?
Well, then it would go to the president pro temp of the Senate.
Oh, okay. So.
And after him,
it would just go on down the line of succession. Then
then the Secretary of State.
Until you reach somebody. Okay, I got you. Yeah. All right. Let's take a quick phone call, then we got to take a break. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Hey, good morning, guys. Listening to the free college rhetoric.
Yeah.
And there's a natural law that all humans know that if you don't work for something, it has no value. Even if it's given to you free, it can't have value. Yeah. So you send all these kids to college. Are we going to pay for their housing and room and board too? They just say, hey, 4 years of free party, dude. You know?
Yeah,
Come
that's
on.
right.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. And all this free stuff, there is nothing free.
Yeah.
We all know that, except the young people don't know that yet. So,
well, and 80% of these people went to college, got degrees, they can't get a job. I mean, it's not a degree that's applicable to a job in the economy.
Well, I told my kids, you got to go to school to get a job where you can be employed. You got to look at the end. Say, I got a degree in, philosophy. Well, so what?
Yeah.
You need a degree in engineering or electricity or medicine, something that can pay you. But
science, technology, engineering, or math.
That's right. You can solve the philosophy desire by giving them a list of 100 philosophy books to read. And just say, you don't need to go to college. Read these books and you'll be a philosopher.
There you go.
Well,
that
I
easy.
think we all are philosophers, are we not?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Well, we are here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Hey, did he mean because you can listen to us free, Shane, that we're of no value?
No. They can't listen to us for free because they have to listen to the ads. But
well, that's true.
Because we're so good at this, they see us as a morning philosophy.
Oh, okay.
From the righteous Eagleman and the crazy Canuck.
Yeah, but our other shows, if you listen to Tom and Shane rebroadcast, they're commercial free.
And you can download them.
And they don't cost you 15 cents a day either. They're free.
That's right. You can download them and put them on a disc and give them to people for a stocking stuffer.
That's true. 967 downloads of 170 episodes.
170. That's serious. 170 episodes. Seriously.
We've been doing 170 of these shows, and we got 967 people have decided to download them. So
a month and a half, and we'll be at 800. That's scary.
Now, in a month and a half, we'll be at 1,000.
Wow.
Because right now we're only 33 away from 1,000. 33 downloads. So go over and download our show.
I'm talking about shows.
Can we get 1,000 before the end of June? Do you think enough people would go over and download our shows to give us to 1,000 by the end of June?
Well, yeah, and then we got to ask a question. You got to poll if people will pay 99 cents a month, so that we can. So we can start generating something from this. We need to monetize it.
I'm sure.
We got to monetize it.
I'm sure Town Square Media will give their full and unequivocal approval to that. What, Tom wants to make money? Not a chance. That ain't gonna happen.
Exactly. It's a one-way pony.
All right. We got to take a break, and we'll be right back after these important words. Stay tuned. 23 minutes after the hour of 8 a.m. It's Monday, June 24, 2019. 61 degrees outside. We're looking for a high of about 66 or so, Shane. And from our text line, 478-8298, only in America can a man who plays golf with billionaires and poops on a gold-plated toilet make common folks think he's one of them simply by using small words and vocabulary. Sheeple are easy to fool. Well, if it's that easy, I wonder why Romney didn't do it.
Well, if that easy, why did they use small words to describe it and make their comment?
Well, I don't know. Well, anyway, that is one of the things that Trump does have the ability to communicate and relate.
And you know, when you spend your entire life solving problems, one of the problems you learn really early when you employ people is that you compliment in public and you criticize in private. And this is one of the hallmarks of your president. He listens to the advice he gets, and in private, he criticizes it. And in public, you know, he compliments when it's necessary, but he goes that little bit more because it's politics, which you have to have, and drops the hammer and criticizes.
Yeah.
But, you know, the great thing about it is he makes it entertaining. You know, like it doesn't, like when he criticizes entertaining, it's not like the liberals, where you know, when they criticize people, like you say, they make someone a victim, like Trump, right?
Well,
and you're dead right on it, right? Like everything the Democrats are doing is just making a bigger and bigger, you know, victim. And people in America, Americans hate someone being bullied, and that's what they see the media and the left bullying their president.
Yep. And that's what we've said all along with this Mueller.
Yeah.
When this Mueller thing went away and they kept on coming, that made him a victim. He wasn't a victim during the Mueller investigation. Everybody thought, this will pull up something. You know, this guy's on his way out, and they're not going to impeach him because they don't have enough time to do it before the next election. They got debates. They're going to suck all the oxygen out of the room, you know, until at least for the most of the summer anyway.
Well, it's going to suck so much oxygen out of the room. The guys at the end of the road, they're going to pass out and fall off the stage.
Well, they may. I don't know, but anyway, we're going to cover the debates and our poll questions on Thursday and Friday will be who won the night before. So make sure that you tune in and watch them. And so, well, we got some text line things going on here. 478-8298 is the last texter alluding that Obama was one of these. He was a lifelong politician and has never done a thing outside of politics. Well, I would agree with that. I think Obama was the biggest sheeple that people followed blindly for 8 years. You know, but had the Republicans run anybody decently against him, I don't think he would have made it at all.
Well, yeah, but if you look at the Romney election in 2012, Romney lost Obama by less than 100,000 votes. He really did.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2012 was as close of an election as 2016. The only difference, the personalities. If Romney had gone after Obama in the second debate about Benghazi in Russia, I think he would have been president.
Yep. From our text line, Shane, what? Obama is a walking insult machine. He is a bully. And I have to agree. I think he is a bully and a walking insult machine.
You're talking about me. You're talking about me being an insult machine. Come on. You know.
Tom, you're smart not eating raw fish. Look up Sakius or something like that, whatever that is. Was that some disease I'm going to get if I eat raw fish?
Yeah, worm.
That's not going to work? Yeah. That's why I say that's why I take it home and fry it up or bake it, you know. Not eating that stuff. Trump's base like him being a bully and on their side. But make no mistake, he's a bully. He mocks every single president before him, Republicans included. Well, they should be mocked, I think.
Yeah.
Certainly Bush and Obama should be. Let's see. Shane is a philosopher.
Ooh,
there you go. Regarding Sanders' stupid idea. And we went through Michelle as president with AOC as vice president. So that'll clean up our text line for the moment. So if you want to text us, 478-8298 is the number, and we'll be happy to entertain your thoughts and whatever. So Well, we're getting down to the bottom of the hour here, so we got to take a break and do some housework here. We still have a full half hour to go. A couple of things I want to talk about when we come back. This week, the Supreme Court should decide the census question. Is there going to be a citizen question on the census? And also, Schiff is claiming that, hey, this week Mueller's subpoena will be out and he'll be testifying next week. So we'll talk a little bit about those things when we come back, and more of the 5 things you need to know, and your texts and your phone calls and all of that. So, hey, it's Monday. Oh, what a lousy way to spend 1/7 of your life, huh? Oh, God almighty. That's horrible. All right. Well, we'll be right back right after this. 23 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, June 24, 2019, 61 degrees outside. Tom Eagleoff, your morning mayor in the house. Shane Taubman, half man, half amazing, cooler than the other side of the pillow, is on the line in Vancouver, British Columbia. You are cooler than the other side of the pillow. You know that, right?
That's a good line. I like that.
And this is the KMMS Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. From our text line, 478-8298, Obama did this so we can do that. Politicians have what? Oh, okay. I can't read.
Okay.
Politicians have devolved into the third grade mentality. God help us. We have sunk so far.
Which holds true to number 4 of this, 5 things you need to know. And this Buddhist.
As soon as I get through with the text, we'll.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you were.
We'll do that.
I apologize.
That's okay. I appreciate you jumping in there, but
I have to go to my quiet room now and cry.
Let me get this out of the way.
Okay.
Your texters all need to sign and be allowed only one text. I am tired of getting Chris Griffin's ignorance read to me multiple times. He's an ass, and written word doesn't change that. Use my name, Terry Randall. Okay, Terry, we'll use your name. If you want us to, we'll use your name. Otherwise, we're not going to on signed text. Comparing Trump to Obama, just lower the bar to excuse bad people. Well, I will say that Obama did lower the bar, that's for sure, of what a president is. Didn't talk to either Kim Jong or
That's
Putin or anybody else. Well, he did talk to Putin. He'd have more flexibility, of course.
Yeah, and he let him take over the Crimea.
Too, and and escalated the war in the Middle East and
escalated the war in Syria.
Fast and Furious. The list goes on and on. Cambridge police acted stupidly. Come on. Guy was. By the way, let's see the result in between Obama and Romney. Obama 65 million, Romney 60 million, lost by 5 or 4. Yeah, almost 5 million. Yeah,
I'm
5
talking
million.
about the Electoral College.
Oh,
Romney only lost the Electoral College like by 100,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see. What were the electoral votes? Let's see. 332 to 206.
Yeah, that was there.
Over 100. Over 100.
Yeah, but look at Trump. Trump was 306 to 230, 250 or whatever.
He won. He won as big as Obama did. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So and he won most of the states Obama did, except for the West Coast.
That's right.
And the East Coast and everywhere in between. But
Romney, he won the same ones that Trump did. Yeah, exactly. He just couldn't break that wall.
Except for all the Rust Belt states.
That's right. But the great thing was the whole talk about building a wall with Mexico ended up taking down the blue wall of the Democrats. That's what's great.
Well, that's probably true. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I got to take another break, believe it or not.
Okay.
That was a short deal, but we've got a lot of folks, the salespeople back there, been selling. So
there you go.
we got to get all these in. We'll be right back. 15 minutes for the top of the hour. It's Monday, June 24th, 2019, 62 degrees outside. And, our poll question of the day, Shane, is do you know how to use chopsticks? Do you know how to use chopsticks? So
there you go.
Let's see. We should probably check on that poll. Let me pull that up real quick. We'll see how things are going over there. Well, it looks like 36% of the respondents say yes, it's part of the food experience. And 18% say stab the food with a chopstick. 1% say no, it's too hard. And 9% say it's too hard. 9% say, haven't they seen the fork? And some other answers, yes, but not very well. Why waste my time? I know, but I prefer a question mark. No raw fish for me. So that's where we are.
There you go. That was you. I know that was you.
Tom, 13 years as a commercial fisherman, eating raw fish is bad idea. Pete, you can always use my name. Okay, Pete, thank you. Let's see. Clown show libs always quote the popular vote instead of the electoral vote. That's from V. And let's see. It seems the listeners don't like text with other opinions. Maybe texters would call, if not for fear of being mocked by them. Signed, not Chris Griffin.
Okay, so here's the important thing. If you're going to make a decision by popular vote, it has to be a majority of the eligible voters, not a plurality of those who vote.
Right.
And you know, like if there's 240 million people eligible to vote in your country, so 121 million have to elect somebody.
Yep.
Otherwise, you keep going to the poll until someone does.
There you go.
Because
when Clinton and Bush and Perot ran, nobody got 50% of the vote.
That's right.
Yeah. So I would think you ought to at least get half the people.
Yeah, they're only getting 36 or 38% of the eligible voters. That's a plurality. You know, that's scary.
Yeah. Well, that's because we don't appreciate the fact that we can actually vote. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, let's take a phone call. 522-TALK is the number. Caller, you on the air. What's going on?
Are you talking to me?
I am talking to you.
I'm talking to you.
I've watched Trump for over 50 years. Loved him ever since. But the thing I liked the best about him was when I read the book, Andrew Jackson, and I said to myself, there's Trump.
Andrew Jackson is Trump. We've mentioned that on the show many times. Yeah, he's as close to Andrew Jackson. Yeah,
he's got a bust of Jackson right behind him on the deal. Anyway, another 6 years.
Well, we've talked about Andrew Jackson, and he was very vocal about what he thought of people and didn't pull any punches. And Trump's a lot like Andrew Jackson. I would agree.
Absolutely. All guts.
There you go. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks for the call. Caller, you are on the morning soapbox with Tom and Shane.
I'm sorry.
Caller, are you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I didn't know who was talking.
I'm sorry. I was talking to the caller.
Oh, well, I think that's me, right?
That's you.
Okay, awesome. It's Mayor.
Hi, Mayor.
Hey, I was a little concerned. A couple things I've been hearing that, of course, Biden, he's always a concern. He's a moron.
Yeah.
But he wants to repeal the tax cuts that Trump implemented.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people understand, I mean, they demonize the corporations. Oh, we need to tax them 70 or 90%. Well, where do they think the jobs are going to go? And who do you think and if they stay in this country with that kind of tax, who do they think is going to be paying that tax? What do they think the price of goods is going to, you think that's going to go down? It's, I think there's just not enough people out there educating. I wrote Trump and I said, you have the perfect forum to educate the populace that haven't been properly educated in this country anymore. And instead of bashing people, let's talk about what they're saying and how it's going to affect, the American people.
No, I would agree with that. Obama said what? Yeah, got to have a magic wand to bring jobs back.
Yeah.
So
well, because he had no clue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't raised or has no experience in the business sector, and that's why we've always said that the United States, for all if you want to call the United States a corporation, it is. The board of directors is the Congress, and, you got the CEO, and it should be run as a business. It should be run to try to make a profit at least, but we don't always get there. But
yeah, I mean, the first job of the American president should be to defend the country, and the second job is to bring the pork home. Bring companies to your country to build.
Well, and everyone that's running, from what I can see on the Democrat side, I don't think there's one of them that has actually had a real job or created jobs or had their own company that know the work and the sacrifice it takes to actually, build a business. Mm-hmm. And so we're listening to people. Bernie Sanders has never really worked in his life other than being a politician. The same with Biden. Mm-hmm. These guys have never, none of them. Kamala Harris.
I'm going to say, if there's anybody who's out of touch with the American people.
Well, yeah, and now Elizabeth Warren, I just saw online, I don't know how true it is, but I think it is true, wants reparations for the LGBTQRSTUVWXYZ community.
Wow. All right.
And it's like, well, okay, all of a sudden I'm gay.
Let's get some money going over here. Hey,
I just came out. If I'm going to get money, I'm gay.
All right.
This is insanity. I tell you what, I shudder to think what's going to happen to this country if any of these clowns.
You'll be able to see the debates Wednesday and Thursday on full display, and they can educate us all as to how brilliant they are. So we'll see.
What do you know what channels those are going to be on, Tom? Or
they're on NBC. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't watch that either, but I will for that.
Yeah, you may have to for that. Yeah. So.
Well, I don't think they'll be on everybody's channel.
They won't be. No. NBC's got the inside track. No Fox. Yeah, they won't. No, they won't be on all channels. Nope.
Well, Trump tweeting live.
Well, MSNBC will probably cover it too. So.
Yeah.
So it'll be on there as well.
It'll be a crap show. It'll be
Sounds good to me.
All right.
It's good radio for us, so we're happy to have them there. Thank you.
Absolutely. Makes for good comedy. So,
all right. Take care. All right. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. 4 minutes for the top of the hour. We're just about done here, Shane. From our text line, let's see. I got several here. The Romans invented the knife and spoon to eat. The mongrels gave us the fork. Andrew Yang has had a job, and Tulsi Gabbard was in the military. And Alex Jones is doing clown show running commentary during the debates at Infowars.com. So you can go over and check that out if you want to. Let's see. Business goal is to make a profit. Government goal is to spend and add debt. Unfortunately, that's pretty much the truth. Problem with our elections is the primaries are decided by a few states. Iowa gets all the love, and by the time it gets to Montana, it's all decided. Our votes don't count in primaries. Well, local elections they do, certainly. That's where the big deal is, that you're in the local politics are local, and that's where the primaries really pay off. It's not in the national; it's in the local elections. So.
Well, but in the national it does, because you pick your national candidates for the Senate and the House. I mean, that's
Well, you do, but for your state, yes.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, state, but any of the. If you're talking about the local or the national races, those are pretty much done by the time they get to us. But hey, all politics are local, and as we've said many times, you have more power to get things done in your own state than Washington has to do for you. So
that's right. And here's an example of a contradiction. The Democrats talk about the Electoral College, and then you look at the delegates and the way they elect them.
Yeah.
The Republicans go on the basis of how, like Montana has 3 delegates to the convention, because, 2 senators, 1 congressman. But,
right.
The Republicans the Democrats seem to, well, we need a little bit more delegates.
Right,
How do we make more delegates?
Yeah.
Anyway.
There you go. Let's take a phone call, then we got to get out of here. Caller, you're on the Morning Soapbox with Tom and Shane. What's up?
Yeah. Would you think there would be any possibility that we could force all the primaries at the same time?
Boy, that would be neat to do, I would think. Well, they got a Super Tuesday and all of that stuff, but boy, I think the campaigning would be impossible because you'd have to get to all the states, and for the candidates to get around the country, I think would be, that'd be pretty tough.
That's a shame the way it works. We don't. You might as well not vote here.
Well, that's why I say you vote for your local people, so that's where the power is. So
Thank you.
All right. Hey, thanks for the call. All right. Say goodbye, Shane.
Goodbye, Mayor. Look forward to talking to you always in the morning. Everyone be happy, be safe.
All right. Thanks, buddy. All right. We got to go. Hey, thanks to everybody here. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking to the job service. They are going to come in here. We're going to talk about some of the businesses closing here and all of that stuff. So we want to have you with us tomorrow. That'll be in the 7 o'clock hour tomorrow morning. So we'll see everybody bright and early, 6 a.m. on Tuesday.